Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. We are now coming out to basically a full week of the nation's capital of Ottawa being occupied by the Flu Trucks Clan or the Freedom Convoy, depending on which side of the fence on the vaccine mandates you fall on. Now, we're probably going to talk about these guys a bit more in the future again, but right now I wanted to make this for a few different reasons. The main one being to address the whole honking thing, but also the absolute abject failure of the Ottawa Police Service. There are honestly way too many examples on social media about all the spectacular contradictions and failures of the Ottawa Police Service, such as the fact that they recently got a budget increase because, we need more money to keep our streets safe. And, they haven't exactly done a really stellar job of that, according to people in downtown Ottawa. And then on top of that, right, it's costing, I think the city of Ottawa $800,000 a day to keep the police out there to, maintain order and stuff, which, okay, maybe that's kind of working. But at the same time, you have, again, just so many instances on social media. Protesters are, stockpiling wood now in Confederation Park, and there's a tiny little shelter going up, and they're just storing gas canisters and jerry cans and propane tanks all over the place right next to that area. And people are rightly pointing out, there's that Khalil Sivrite guy down in Toronto, and we actually talked about him before on this channel, and how he was basically targeted by the city of Toronto for daring to build tiny shelters for the homeless. And here's Ottawa Police just saying, yeah, no, that checks out. That's up to code. And it's just kind of wild, right? And people are seeing all the contradictions of what the hell? You literally evict homeless people and you break people's arms for protesting. What's going on here? And so while it is, altogether not surprising to see the cops take the side of the anti-vax crowd, for numerous reasons, which we aren't even really going to get into here because I could, but it's not the point I want to make. The point I want to make is that the silver lining in all of this is doing wonders for the Defund the Police movement. Lots of people in Ottawa, a very white and waspy town full of liberals, are getting a jarring and rude awakening to the reality of the police as an institution and what they actually do and who they truly serve and protect. Hint, it's not actually them, which is part of why they're really struggling. And you see so many people asking questions online of how can the police just let this happen? What are you doing, Ottawa Police Services? What's going on? We need to send in the military and blah, blah, blah. And you shouldn't, because that just, that would be a win for the Flu Trucks clan there. But it's really interesting to see so many people suddenly being why aren't the police doing the thing? It's well, because as lots of people like me have been trying to point out for years, it has to do with white supremacy. It has to do with protecting the interests of the state and the capitalist class. That's all the cops really serve and protect. If you don't directly impact the flow of capital, then it's fine. It's yeah, sure, whatever, honk your horns, we don't really care. But you want to do rail blockades, stymie the economy, ask for, land back, defend your water, and prevent it from being just freely extracted by Nestle or whoever? Oh, you bet they send in the cops for that shit. And so, yeah, the silver lining in this, and it's a, very thin silver lining, but a silver lining nonetheless, is that lots of predominantly white liberals, whether they're older or younger, my age or so, are coming to grips with the reality that funding the police actually doesn't do a whole lot. And they aren't really serving and protecting what they thought was the community. And this is leading to people at least getting started on their journey to further radicalization. That is a positive to come from all this horror, which we've already documented before, and which we will no doubt keep documenting in more detail as new things emerge, and probably also the aftermath, be it good or bad. These were things I just wanted to talk about. The spectacular hypocrisy and cowardice of the Ottawa Police Service, and how that, in a way, has now led to an arguably good thing of putting more people on the path to radicalization and agreeing with the concept of defund the police, because boy howdy has the Ottawa Police Service ever made a case for that. And again, let's talk about finding some positive ways of fighting back as this enters basically a whole week of various levels of government and public sectors doing nothing. So there is hope, and that's what I want to offer to the people of Ottawa. And behind the scenes, people are beginning to organize, whether it's counter protests or just starting to compile information, finding, again, nonviolent avenues of fighting back. So the resistance continues, which is why, as I've said before, don't lose hope, don't lose the light, because if you stop walking in that dark tunnel, you're never going to find that light at the end of it. So be kind, support each other, let this radicalize you instead of leading you to despair. But the fact that it unfortunately had to come to this, and that basically all levers of power are doing exactly nothing, and it's finally just dawning on a lot of the liberals in Ottawa for the first time that these people are not on their side, it's all so unfortunate, and it was all so avoidable, and none of it needed to happen, and yet it did, and it continues to this day. And that's what's bothering me today.